welcome back to another episode of What It Takes. Thank you so much, guys, for returning and watching this series because it's helping the channel a lot. So anyways, thank you so much for watching these videos, guys. So in this episode, I have a special guest. His name is Randy. Me and Randy has been friends for a few months now. We talk a lot offline. So anyways, I'm so excited to bring him on today. So guys, he is such a sweet guy. Today is his birthday, so please in the comments, give him some love in the comments, guys. Wish him a happy birthday. So anyways, Randy is giving some gems today, so you don't want to miss this one. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of What It Takes. Today we have a special guest, guys, Randy. Welcome, Randy.
Hey Patricia, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I can't believe I'm actually on here with the great Patricia.
And it's your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it's they come around fast. You know, I've got the greatest show for it.
Do you feel older?
Not so much. Say it's just a number, right?
Yep, yes it is. Alrighty, so I have some questions for you. Are you ready?
I am ready, and I'm a fan of your channel. I love it.
Thank you. All right, so introduce yourself. Who are you?
Well, my name is Randy Haynes, and my son and I started our agency probably, 4 months ago now. And I've got the health and life side. He's got the property casualty side. And things are going well.
Awesome.
So before that, I was actually an IT director for the state of West Virginia for 26 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so I really wanted to bring you on, and I really wanted to talk about you transitioning. We're not going to say any carrier names or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you was working at a call center, right?
That's true. Yeah, I actually last year, exactly this day last year, I retired from my 26-year career as an IT director, and I had already investigated, Medicare insurance and thought, well, let's give this a try. And so I actually retired on August 6th last year, and the following Monday I started with the call center. I won't leave that name. And it was a good experience. It was really a good experience. I mean, the training was awesome. I mean, I think an agent that wants to get into this space and feels lost, there's other ways to do it. I think the social network that's out there with, six-figure Medicare agent, Christian and all the other groups, it's incredible what you can find out there. But, with the call center, I went through, I think it was like 5-6 weeks of training. And it was a curve for me because I'd never done anything like this before. But it was well worth the time. And, with the call center, there were no, the commission is what made me leave because, you're LOA and, there was a little bit of an hourly, but it just wasn't a long-term thing, but the training was awesome.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to transition to from this question is, what do you think is the biggest differences from you being captive to now being independent? You said the training was awesome, so we got that. So what other key differences that you feel like that you're like, I didn't think it was like this on the independent side or whatever the case may be?
Well, I can say, and this, I'm sure, it comes down to your commitment, right? You've got nobody behind you prodding you and saying, hey, what are you doing now? What are you doing today? So you have to take the initiative. And as far as, your hours in the day, with the call center, you logged in, especially during AEP. I mean, that's primarily what I worked with the call center was last year's AEP. And, from the time you clock in to the time you clock out, you've got that chat open, and somebody's, if you're idle for 2 minutes, man, they're tapping and saying, hey, what's going on? So that is a push. But when you're independent, you're the only one you're reporting to. So you've got to make that commitment. And I've heard so many others, whether it be on Christians group or on your videos, folks talking about taking that commitment, because that's what it comes down to, right? And I've heard you say this before, that it's it's your commitment. I mean, whether you understand all of it or you're just getting your feet wet, it's how much commitment and time you're willing to put in. If you're working 2 hours a day, I mean, it's a little hard to get traction with that. So that's something that's got to be the focus, or else you're not going to go far very fast.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. So, do you feel like you needed the structure now that you're independent? How do you feel that? Because I know the structure is very important, but do you feel like you need the structure or needed the structure then?
Yeah, I think now, I mean, even in my past chapters of life, I've always been a self starter, and and to lay down, I think in the independent world, you definitely have to have a plan, that this is what my day is going to look like. I'm up at this time. I'm you know not only working, but you have to have your days segmented. I mean, in this business, it's all about sales. So I mean, most of your time's got to be that. I mean, a one person show, both of us, you still have to worry about the marketing side, and the mechanics, right? I mean, I'm still implementing. I'm actually looking whether I'm going to go with Ring Central, or there's another solution now that we have to record calls. But yeah, so it's all you, and to have that structure, to know from one day to the next, what's tomorrow hold, before you just get up, and you can't wing too many days, or you're going to be off the tracks.
Yeah, definitely. From my understanding with the cost center, it's just about sales, right? So it's just like the goal is to make a sale. So
Yeah,
now that you're independent, your goals are not going to be just about making a sale. It's about getting your name out there, getting your business
yeah,
out there, branding your business,
Randy.
right? And
Yeah,
generating leads. So how do you do that now that you are independent?
yeah. I mean, that was a major shift, right? Because with the call center, it was absolutely, take a call, take a call, take a call, and you didn't even see it all the way through, right? I mean, I didn't generate the lead, I just took the call. And once I made the sale, I didn't even enroll, right? I mean, you transferred to an enroller, and you went to the next call. So, yeah, now, worrying about the front end and the back end of that sale. The front end, I've done quite a few community events, right? Festivals and fairs and that sort of thing. And, that's just my personality. It just works well, because I'm a talker. My wife is just the opposite, right? If we're together, I'm the Gabby one, and she's like, can we go? Can we go? So having that booth and talking to people, especially, you're in your hometown or the next town, quite a few people, right? So as they're coming through, it's, you just have that conversation, and you know you get to the sale. It's not an immediate, hey, let me set you up on Medicare plan. But it works well, and I like that part, but that's definitely a departure from the call center world. And then the back end of completing the sale, the enrollment, and the plethora of tools we have, right? I mean, we've got, I know we're both at some level under the same FMO. So Medicare Center and all those tools, and then the carriers all have their tools, and to get those in a way. And I'm still tweaking some things. So when we do get to AEP, things are as optimized and slick as they can be. So, there's no wasted time trying to find the right tool to enroll those folks.
Absolutely. So tell me, what is the key difference between training as far as like when you were captive, call center training, and independent training?
Well, see, I came through that path where the call center really was all my training. And yeah, there's a lot you could say negative about the call center world, but honestly, the training and the training crew at this call center, uh, they were awesome, and the training was awesome. And I mean, and they didn't hire 10, 20 people. I mean, the training, you had 100 people plus. Yeah, I mean, Zoom, you'd start looking at how many people were on the Zoom training, and it was hundreds.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So, and you get to know some of those folks, but I think people coming into this business and not coming through that structured, highly structured path, I think it would take more commitment because, there's a lot out there, the groups and whatnot that are out there. And I know, the FMOs have different training options. I think you're under Christian, aren't you?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, so all of his wealth, and he's at the text or a call, I'm sure. So like it worked well for me to come through the call center, but there's still so much to learn. So I'm as plugged in as I can be with all these groups. And what's awesome about that is you come up on a question and it's so fast. I mean, you couldn't pay for a service to answer questions faster than these groups. And you drop a question, and suddenly you not only have 10 answers, but you have 10 answers from people that are masters. So it's really nice.
Yeah, I like that you brought that up. I didn't even think about that. The Facebook groups are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stay away from the drama ones,
Oh yeah.
but the Facebook groups are so helpful. So I really appreciate Christian and Justin Barak, having these
Yeah.
Facebook groups. So
Yeah, I know, I mean, you drop a question in, whether it be about, the technology or sales or some minute detail about a client that's got this issue, and, can you do this or should you do this? It's really nice. I think that helps once you're off the ground, but, you still need that initial training to get the basics. And how did not to turn this around, but how did that work out for you, Patricia?
I'm sorry,
How
what's
did
the
that
question?
the initial training? How did you come about initial training?
So for me, since I am a registered nurse and my background was in Medicare, I
Uh,
already knew Medicare as a whole. So I mean, I still had to learn a lot from, like the in and out of Medicare, like I didn't really know what was Part D, like I knew that, you know, my residents was getting prescription drugs and everything like that, but I didn't know where that was coming from, right? So there's
yeah.
a lot of things I still needed to learn, but I was halfway there. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
knew, like I know the medication. So when someone say, "Oh, I take Ativan," or I take this, I already know. Okay, what's this? I know what to ask. Like how many milligrams, how many times per day. So me being a nurse helped me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And plus, I'm the type of person I will go back and I read. Like I read AHIP, and I go back and I read, like the summary of benefits and like really dive deep in it. So that way, when someone else asks me a question like, "Oh, does this plan, cover dentures?" I already know to go into the summary of benefits or
Yeah.
evidence of record, evidence of what is it? Evidence
Uh,
of
coverage.
coverage.
Evidence of
Yeah.
coverage. Yeah.
So I utilize those tools to my advantage, like the Medicare U book, So I go back and I read things, and I bug Christian all the time.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you came from the nursing world, it's definitely not, you're definitely not the only one, because like in the call center world, that training Zoom that had hundreds of people, you wouldn't believe in the middle of COVID how many nurses got out of nursing and went into Medicare or insurance. It was it surprised me at first, but then you consider, the I can't even imagine being a nurse in the middle of a COVID ward. That
I know.
no,
That was crazy. And I do want to point out that not a lot of nurses know Medicare. My background was in a specialty where I did reimbursement for Medicare and Medicaid. Because most nurses, we don't care about your insurance. We just here to
yeah,
take care of you. But I got lucky in that sense. So it helped me a lot.
yeah. I've got three sisters that are all in the medical field. One's a MRI tech, one's an LPN, and one's a X-ray tech. So I was the only one not to take the similar path.
Yeah, healthcare is awesome until the pandemic happened. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
right now
sure.
it's right now it's really great because like there's so much travel contracts. There's such a shortage, but when the pandemic first happened, it was pretty scary.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I know. There's billboards in the area for nurses. It's like just the sign-on bonuses are crazy.
Yes. You know what? We're gonna transition to the next question because
Okay.
I utilize nursing to help me transition financially. So, how are you able to transition financially? Because you were in a call center, so that means that you was not getting residuals,
That's
right?
right.
So,
That's
how
right.
were you able to transition financially into being independent? Because I know a lot of people like to know that when they want to make that move. I say
Oh, yeah.
save, utilize what you're doing as far as like working to help you transition. But how did you transition?
Yeah, that was, I'm a very cautious person by nature, and I call me boring, but I hate risk. you know. And so, like I say, I was with the state as an IT director, well, programmer, IT director, database administrator throughout the 26 years. But, the state offered the early retirement at 55, right? So I knew that, the second that was available, I'm out. So, I'd been planning this for quite a while. So, the savings and, the state also has a pension system, so I was ready for that jump. Not that it wasn't nervous, when you take that dive, it's always, and I'm sure you felt that too, that, you have those nerves, but yeah, to jump into the call center. And, the call center wasn't horrible money initially, but yeah, you've got no, residuals at all. There's no renewals. Um, and, your commission, I mean, well, I won't get deep into that, but it was a little depressing, when you know the real story, what street commission is and the renewals. Uh, And if you work for a call center, you don't want to bring that stuff up because suddenly you're the pariah in the group. Uh, but yeah, it helped a lot. Being prepared for retirement. So to transition to the call center and then independent. It's not bad. But we also, this is a home office, so we don't have a brick and mortar. And I'm honestly, for myself, for the Medicare side of the business, I'm torn. I mean, I know you have foot traffic, and then marketing folks come by. I know some people do it completely virtual, right? And I can't. Jackie, that was on one of the episodes. I think she's completely virtual, right?
Yep.
And she'll do the one off, to go out, which is nice. So I'm still deciding, and likely in the spring we're going to do an office, just to have that place because I know in your office your lobby area also doubles as a training area, so that gives a place to a focal point.
Yes, definitely. So I know you say you do the flea market. So what else different sources of lead generation do you do?
Well, yeah, I've done, festivals and fairs and that sort of thing. Um, and, probably going forward, I'll continue to do those. Um, and I've worked closely with the carriers, and, it's amazing what they have to offer, both in co op for marketing. I've got a Q3 and a Q4 marketing plan together that I've reached out to both the FMO and some carriers to see how we can work with this, and I think that's going to work out well. And I know we've talked about that a little bit outside of this, um, but yeah, it's. I honestly think I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a problem keeping up is my fear now is to have enough time so that I'm not leaving things on the table, um, especially during AEP. And I know with the call center, it wasn't like you had these X number of leads. I mean, it was just how many calls you took, right? So you start at 7 a.m. and I mean there were some 14-hour days last AEP. But it's just however many calls you got in. So now, I mean, you've got folks leaving, potentially leaving voicemail and whatnot. And I don't have an assistant, virtual or otherwise. So, you know, it's the call coming in. If it goes to voicemail, then to find time. And hopefully that's the thing. I may be in a fantasy world thinking that that's going to be the case, but um, yeah, I mean, we'll work it either way. I mean, I've got TV planned for the fall, newspaper, some of the generation that we're, looking at as far as Medicare goes, they're heavy newspaper readers still. Um, and then digital. So, between all those sources, I think, I think it'll be more than enough to keep this old man busy.
I like that. And take Christian advice. When you get to the point where you feel like you need to scale your business, go ahead and hire somebody.
Yeah,
That way
yeah.
you can keep growing.
Yeah, and that's and to have I actually looked at a retail space. I think it was yesterday. So we've done Vacation Bible School all last week, so I'm exhausted. I was over all the games with all these kids from kindergarten to high school, so I'm sore. But yeah, after we get done with that, uh, there's actually a storefront that the landlord we'd talked before, so we went and checked that out. And, again, I love building. So, checking that out and it's like seeing the layout. I could, remember your layout from your videos. It's like, it was exciting, but I'm restraining myself at least until the spring.
Yeah, that'd be real cool to have an office. I would
Hmm.
love to get pictures when you get, if you do decide to get an office. All right, so what are your goals? Like, tell me some of your goals.
Well, we've got a couple months before AEP. I would like to, maximize the number of sales between now and AEP because, then January, we start renewals, right? And I always refer to it as the snowball, right? The renewals, you want to build your snowball over time. So I want to maximize that as we go into next year. And then AEP this year, last year at the call center, I did 124. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna bust it to try to break that because even though less than that would be okay, I want to overcome that 124. But I know it's gonna be a challenge outside the call center world.
Yes, definitely. But even if you don't do it during AEP, you still have the whole year to make that happen. And
Yeah.
I definitely believe that you can do it.
Come on, see, we'll be running side by side this year, Patricia.
No, no. All right, so the next question is give us one good nugget for someone that's watching this video and and they're like, I think I do want to try the call center first. What would you tell that person?
it's a good environment. And some people, maybe it's okay longer term. If you need that structure, and if you don't have that money up front to start your own business, and maybe use it as a step. And I can't overstate how great the training was, because I mean, they had a team of like a dozen people, and they were all masters of every part of this. um, so they've definitely put the money in the training. So if you're starting out and you're thinking about doing Medicare, and you may want to do the call center step for training, reach out to me. I know some people. I'd be glad to help. Um, and beyond that, as we've already talked about, there's so many groups. Join these groups. Christian Six Figure Medicare Agent and the others. They're just invaluable. And subscribe. And Patricia, you've got to watch her videos.
Thank you. All right, give us one good nugget for someone that wants to transition from call center to independent.
Well, and if you've started with the call center, it's likely through their ramp up right before AEP, right? So I mean, they bring on just ridiculous number of people to go through AEP, and they keep the folks that do well after through AEP into OEP. I mean, I'm licensed in 43 states now, which I'm probably going to trim that back. But if you're with the call center and you go through the training, your first AEP is just trial by fire. I don't care, probably a call center or otherwise. If you're pushing yourself, it's like drinking from the fire hydrant, right? Because everybody's available to sell, and not only are they available to sell, they're coming at you wanting, and they know that time is ticking down, and they know they have to have a plan by early December. So after you get through your AEP to transition to independent, you know, I mean, you come out of AEP, you've got some change, because if AEP's gone well, you come out of that. And now, one thing to consider is that release from the call center, because that was a little heartburn for me, because your agreement will say 6 months, and but working with the FMO, I can't overstate how helpful Agent Pipeline's been. And once you get that release, then you're available to sign through the FMO with the other, with all the carriers. And commitment, commitment, commitment. I mean, all my life I've been a great planner. I've not always been a great committer. So nothing matters unless you put some time and effort behind it.
Yep, exactly. Definitely. So, if someone wanted to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Well, I'm about to start my YouTube channel. I don't have that right now, so that's coming. But my website is hayneswv.com, and email. I'll send it, and Patricia will have it for the notes. It's Randy at hayneswv.com, and I'll be glad to help, as much as I can. And it's awesome to be in a field now that there's so much peer support. And don't think you're coming to this by yourself, because you know Patricia, Christian, Justin, you could go on and on. You pull up Jackie, who was on here before. I'd emailed her a couple times, and she was more than helpful as far as details too, not just generalities. So people definitely are helpful.
Yeah, definitely agree. I love this
Yeah.
imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and happy birthday to you. Thank you for coming
Well,
on another episode of What It Takes on your birthday.
well, thanks, Patricia. It's great to finally meet you. I know we've chatted and different things, and I think you're awesome. I mean, to transition from nursing and now your office, and you know, I probably watch way too many videos on my phone over the day's time. But I love it. When I see you post a new video, it's like what's going on at Life and Med today.
Thank you. Well, bye, YouTube.
See you later.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of What It Takes. I just want to give a special thank you to Randy for coming on his birthday. So anyways, thank you guys again, and I'll see you. It's raining. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain, but it's raining. Such a nice day to edit a video. So anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.